We've said before, and we're going to say again, learning English is not simple. I have the utmost respect for all of you because I can speak one language. That's it. You're learning your second or your third, so good on you. And what I want to give you a little idiom today. Cut yourself some slack, okay? We know it's not easy. We know it's not simple. Don't get down on yourself or be too critical, too tough. This is something difficult and you're taking the steps that you need to. You're practicing, you're learning. So cut yourself some slack, okay? We've talked before, mindset is half the battle. If we think we can do it, if we keep positive, then we can do this together. So sometimes it takes time to wrap your head around it. Another idiom a new idiom for today. It takes time to understand something complicated or difficult. So wrap your head around this and we'll get to it. Okay? So today's topic is pronunciation of hard and soft sounds. I briefly mentioned it last week when I was talking about silent letters because I'll review one of the rules. It comes in with this topic as well. Hard and soft sounds. So in English, we have two letters, the consonant C and the consonant G, that have two different sounds. We call them the hard and the soft sounds. And it depends on what letters come next, or it depends on a couple of little rules that we'll go through today. So this might help you know how to read it and how to say it. So the most common sound, the one you're going to hear most of the time, is the hard G sound. It's the sound you hear in goat, great, good. You know, it sounds like that voiced K sound. Another lesson we did are voiced and voiceless sounds. The k, 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 and g, g, g are the exact same place of your tongue and your mouth and your lips, everything. It's just the k is voiceless and the g is voiced. So you're going to feel that vibration when you say the hard G sound. It is a short, quick sound made with one breath. It kind of comes out like a click, kind of g, k, g, g, right? The soft G sound, though, sounds like the sound for the letter J. It's the sound you hear in giraffe, large, general, okay? The C, the hard C sound, is the most common pronunciation, and it's the sound you hear in cat, fact, class. Again, it's that voiceless K sound. It's the K sound for the hard C. The soft C, the other sound for C, is the S sound. S, in sell, receive, city. All of the soft sounds, they're long sounds, like lengthwise sounds that you can make with a continuing breath. So s, j, okay? S, voiceless, j, voiced. Okay, so both G sounds are voiced. Both C sounds are voiceless. K, 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 s. All right? Hopefully that helps. So our rules. Let's look at our rules. If the letter C or G is followed by an E or an I or a Y. Now the Y, not the consonant sound, but if it's following a C or a G, you'll know it has an E or an I sound. So either the short or long vowel sounds, E, I, and I, or the Y sound making the I or the E sound, we're going to give the soft pronunciation. So let's look at these words. You'll notice I have highlighted C-I, C-I, C-E, G-E, G-I, and G-Y. All of these give the S or J sounds, the soft ones. City, decision, receive, general, giant, energy. You can hear the soft sound for those ones. Any other letter, generally, after the C or the G, the pronunciation is hard. For example, we've got an A after the C in call, so we have the K, the hard C sound. We have an O after the C. we have the hard C sound, correct. We have a U after the C, so it's the hard sound, rescue, rescue. An O or an R after the G, we have the hard G sound, the gulf, great, fragrant. Okay? We have you can see how it changes when you put that E behind it. So sometimes we have the silent E at the end of our words, lots of words, and it makes the hard G sound become a soft one in some words, okay? So for example, in the word sag, the hammock will sag as soon as you sit into it. As soon as we put that silent E on the end, the hard G sound goes away and it becomes the soft G sound. It becomes sage, which is herb that I use in my cooking sometimes, sage. Rag becomes rage, just in a few of those words, right? Okay, so when a hard pronunciation is needed, but the letter following C or G would make it soft, so it would be an E or an I or a Y, and typically that would make the soft sound. Sometimes we'll add a silent letter. Like we talked about last week, we talked about adding a silent H after the C to make it the soft S sound instead of the ch. Sometimes CH doesn't say ch. So for example, we need the K sound, the hard sound. We need a hard sound, but it would be a soft sound. So in this one, we've got an I after the C. So it would be, without that silent H, it would be architect. That's not a word. Okay. But we need the K sound to be an architect. So a person who designs buildings. Architect. Sometimes we'll add the silent U after the G. I briefly talked about this last week too, with all the silent letters, the ones when they can be silent in words. For example, guest. And I used this example last time. G-E-S-T is jest. But if we need the G sound, we have to put that silent U after the G to get G, guest. Another clue when we're reading, you're going to see double letters. And sometimes the letter GG is doubled to give a hard sound. So for example, outrigger. Okay. We have the double G and the ER. That's just a rule for spelling when we double the last consonant and add the suffix or the ending. But that GG signals it's definitely the hard sound. Okay. Oh, I got to get rid of my face on this one. Okay, so other examples like this. Soccer. We have two C's together, so we get the hard C sound. K. Broccoli. Hiccup. Account. Foggy. Those are all examples of where the double letter gives us the hard sound. Okay, so I'll bring myself back to make it a little more personal. Words do include both the hard and soft sounds, and there's no specific rule for this. These ones you'll get like a native speaker does. The more you use them, the more you read them, the more you'll be able to remember. You'll figure them out, okay? So we have double letter sounds. Like I just talked about the double letter sounds where you get the hard sound of that letter. So two C's would make a K sound, or two G's would make the G sound. But in some of our words, we have both sounds. So in this one, we have the hard C sound and then the soft C sound. Success, vaccine, accept, access, accident, accent, suggest. Those are just some examples of where we get both hard and soft C sounds in the same word. Okay. We also have not the double consonants here, not double C or double, but two C's in the word or two G's in the word, where we have the soft sound first, then the hard sound. For example, this word, circulate. Okay, you'll notice the same rule applies. We've got the I after the C, so we get the soft sound. We have the U after the C, so we get the hard sound. Circulate. Still follows the rule, it just makes it a little bit more difficult. Geography. Again, same thing. We've got an E after the G, so we get the soft sound, geo. And we have an R after the G, so we get the hard sound, graphy. And we run it together, we get geography. Gigantic, bicycle. Now remember, we have the Y after the C, we get the soft sound. Any other letter besides a Y, an E, or an I, and we get the hard sound, bicycle. Okay? All right, and then sometimes we have the hard sound and then the soft sound. No specific rules, except these all follow the rule that if you have an E after the C, you get a S soft sound. If you have not an E, not an I, or not a Y, you get the K hard sound. So we have clearance, vacancy, garage, or garage, depending how you say it, gauge, gorgeous. Okay, all of these ones still follow the same rule. Okay. All right, practice. I'm going to throw a bunch of words at you. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to just remember the word. See if you can say it with the correct hard or soft C sound before I give it to you. If not, go back to when this is posted and try it again. Okay? So I'm going to throw some words at you. So we've got this one. Look at the letter after it. What is the rule? Well, it's an E. So this is going to have the soft sound recently. I recently did a video on silent letter sounds, right? This one, take a look at our G here. What letter comes after it? What sound are we going to get? This is the sport of gymnastics, the soft sound. It's a Y, gymnastics. Next one, take a look at what letter comes after our C. It is a silent E. So we get pronounce. Now this one, it's the root word of the titles for our videos. Pronunciation practice. Pronounce is the root word. This one, we've already looked at this one already in one other slide. Large. We get the soft G sound. So all this top row, I've given you the soft sounds. That's okay. Next one. Look at the letter coming right after the C. It's not an E. It's not an I. It's not a Y. So we have the hard sound. It's rescue. I'm going to rescue that puppy out of the river. This one. What do we have after the G? We have an R, so we get the hard G sound, grasp. I will grasp, hold on to my pencil really, or my pen really tightly, grasp. Next one. Same letter comes after, so we get the same sound. We've got progress or progress, depending on where you put the stress. Remember that video? Okay, let's make progress on learning this with our practice. What's this one? The soft C sound or the hard C sound? It is soft because a Y is after it. It's cylinder. I'll go a little bit faster because I think you'll be getting it. License. Juicy. Changing. Now this one has the suffix or the ending ing on it, so it's putting it into like our gerund form of the verb or our ing that we use in future verb tenses. The root word for this, change, ends with an E. So our ending ends with starts with an I after the G. The root word, it has an E after the G. So we have the J sound, the soft G sound, which sounds like a J. And this one, if we didn't have this silent U, we would have to say the soft sound, and it doesn't matter because a U is makes it the hard sound anyway. It's a guide. I will guide you through this lesson slide by slide. Next one, fact, hard C sound. End of the word in front of an E, S, distance. End of the word, nothing after it. So it's not an E, it's not an I, it's not a Y. Nothing after it is the same as having one of those other letters. So we get the hard sound, public. I'm going to have to move my face again. Whoops, I gave you two. We've got cross and intelligible. Intelligible means I can understand it. I can understand what you're saying. It is intelligible. You can understand what you hear. Whoops, wrong. Again, this one very much like the purple one before. It's at the end of the word. There's a blank space after it. It is the hard C sound, the K, panic. Don't panic. You can get it. This one has the hard C sound. Again, it's the same rule. There's no E, I, or Y after the C, so it's the hard C sound, ache. It doesn't say CH in this one. And am I going to be able to see it? Yeah, I can still see it. This one is our double C, which typically gives us the hard C sound, so occur. All right, that was a lot of practice. Let's look at the rule breakers. Okay, it's not a lesson unless I tell you there's something that makes an exception, right? This one isn't that bad though. So most often, the rule breakers will give you the hard pronunciation sound, okay? It's supposed to follow the rules and be a soft sound, but just default and it'll go to the hard sound. So our most common rule breakers are these ones. You'll notice we have an E after the G or an I after the G. Oh, I made a mistake. I've highlighted the I in tiger and it's supposed to be the E. I'll have to fix that. Anyway, these ones we are supposed to have the soft sound because of the letter that comes after it. But in these ones, it breaks the rule and we have the hard sound. So it's not a jeer, it's a gear. So I need to switch the gear on my bike when I'm pedaling uphill. Or I put my vehicle in gear to drive. These are very, very common words. I'm sure you already know how to read them and spell them. Get, give, girl, gift. Those are all really good rule breakers. Very, very common words. Okay. This one too, again, the E is supposed to be highlighted red or pink, not the I, but this is tiger, not tiger, it's tiger. So, how to practice. Oh, I'm doing much better this time, not such a long video. This is the same slides. I can't figure out any other ways, any other brainstorms to give you new ways to practice. Just listen. Listen to English everywhere you can. These videos, good places to do it, right? Sing out loud, read out loud, record yourself on your phone. Same thing as we've said in the last few videos. These are all really good little things to give you that extra practice to make progress, right? And again, enlist your kids to help you out, or your partner, your husband or your wife who is working out in the workforce right now, maybe has a little bit better English than you. Take their knowledge and use it. You can write out lists. Go back in this video when it's posted and you can write out these lists again and just practice them. Mix them all up. Sort them as to ones that have hard sounds and soft sounds. That's a good way to practice as well. Most important, stay positive. Remember, don't get down on yourself. Cut yourself some slack. Just practice makes progress. So cut yourself some slack and realize you can do this. So credits, again, this is nothing new. Slides Carnival has made this free template for me to use. Thank you. And I did use, as I mentioned last time, I do research for this. As a native speaker, these rules come natural, right? The more I used them, the more I realized what they were. And I didn't even realize the rules. So I had to do a little research. And I used this website, thoughtco.com. I used it in my last video as well. It is a good website. This is the article I used. I've cited this article. John Preston, the author, gave a lot of really good information. So I've used that in this slide. I wanted to give credit where credit is due. So thank you again for joining us. Please visit us at any of these social media places. We are on our website. We are at KTI English, in KTI English Preparation Center. Search us up. Come join our classes if you would like, if you need a little extra practice. And good luck on your journey. I'm going to end right here with a 20-minute video instead of a 30-minute video. Thank you very much for joining, and I'll see you next week. So bye, everybody.